Well, welcome back. It's Sunday night at 7 o'clock, and it's time for Gaming Beyond the Box. We hope everybody's had a great week. It's been an entertaining week, that's to say the least. Yeah, and we've got a couple of really good friends at the show on tonight, so it's going to be interesting, as we would say. So, without further ado, let's introduce everybody to the panel. Down at the bottom right, we have Xbox Canada. What is going on, dude?
Not much, my dude. How you been?
I'm here.
You're just here.
Another day in paradise, dude.
I hear you, brother. So real quick, I started playing. I buckled. I'm weak. I wasn't gonna get Final Fantasy VII this week. I wasn't gonna get it for a couple months, but I did this morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. Bad decision, but here I am playing it. It's good. I just wish it didn't feel like a Dynasty Warriors game.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Dynasty Warriors, eh?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just, I miss the. Okay, look, I know Wilma is a little bit older, and I'm a little bit older, but I want to go back to the turn-based games like that Final Fantasy used to be. You know, the games that's what I fell in love with that series. With number 2, turn-based, and it was always turn-based. Now it just feels like I'm playing Dynasty Warriors because I'm running around like an idiot, hack and slashing at everything. It's just
go play Yakuza Like a Dragon if you want a turn-based RPG.
Oh, I want an RPG. I want something fun. That's why. I'm not playing that. No, I'm playing Baldur's Gate for the turn-based stuff, right? And I don't think it's gonna happen, but I hope that the success of that will make some of these other RPG companies kind of look and go, you know what, there is a space for the turn-based game still, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think Final Fantasy is ever going to go back to that, to be honest, right now.
I know.
Nah, I doubt it.
I know.
No, the kids don't like them, those games.
Too much thinking involved.
Yep.
Yeah, the kids don't like that.
No, but you know what though? It is a good game. It's well made. It's pretty. It's cool to go back and revisit those characters. You know, I mean, even with like the remake, it's just cool to see them modernize a little bit and go back and revisit them because it's been so long since it came out originally. But anyway, that's all I've really been playing, just that and Baldur's Gate and Call of Duty. But let's not talk about that. Today was not a good day.
Are you playing Remake or Rebirth?
I played Remake already. I'm playing Rebirth right now.
Okay, cool. Just wasn't sure. Yeah.
No, that's it.
All right. And then to his left, we have Kratos' third cousin, 3 times removed through marriage. What's up, Bomber?
Man, not a whole lot, just the same old, busy, doing work and all that good shit, but definitely been able to play some games, which is good. And then the old Xbox did got me already earlier today. Went to just go play some COD or something this morning. Then it's like, hey, there's some free trials of games, and I decided to look at one of them, which was Gangs of Sherwood. And
no, you did not.
It's really freaking fun. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. And
have you learned nothing from Robin Hood based games?
I literally, I'm not gonna lie to you, when I was looking at it, I was like, shit, another Robin Hood game. This is gonna be freaking, it's gonna be piss me off. But this one I didn't spend money. So
have you not watched Men in Tights?
Men in Tights was actually at least a good movie. But no, like this one's actually a lot more fun. It's kind of has a steampunk feel to it, which is kind of funny. But it's kind of like a trying to think of like Devil May Cry linear action game. And then you get to pick between the 4 characters, which is pretty cool. But
is it Souls-like or roguelike?
Definitely not no roguelike. I mean, it definitely has a pairing system and stuff like that. So some enemies are a lot stronger than others, and you will have to block quite a bit. But it's more or less like a hack and slash, and build up you get to like S rank in your combos, stuff like that. So it's very, very Devil May Cry in that kind of respect. But I'm enjoying it. It's kind of fun. I mean, and it doesn't look terrible. I mean, it's definitely not anything to be like, oh my god, it's amazing looking, but I'm having a good old time with it. So that's basically my newest, I guess, venture, minus playing. What was it? That forget. Dead Island 2.
Oh yeah.
Which that one's really fun. I didn't really care for the first one when it came out on 360 or whatever. I was like, just wasn't super fun with it. But this one's the hell of a lot fun, a lot more fun. So
nice.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, especially the dismembering.
Yes,
it's hilarious. And you can hook it up to Alexa and give the zombies commands. You can call them to you.
I did see that.
Really?
I don't. Yeah. I didn't.
It actually works.
Yell at my TV.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, that's a real thing, dude.
That's cool.
Holy wow.
Yeah, I tried it. I didn't think it would work.
That's the evolution. But if that's true, and that actually is the thing, that's the evolution of where like Dead Rising 4 went with the Kinect, right? Where if you on the Xbox One with Kinect, if you were playing the game and you made a noise, like an actual real noise in your house, the zombies would come and find you because they would hear you. I mean, that was kind of a neat integration.
Yeah.
And so that would be the kind of a cool next step. Plus that game had a phone app that could call you with like characters in the game, giving you instructions and stuff. So that's actually kind of a cool thing if Alexa's hooked up that way.
Oh, it does work. I did try it because I've got one in my living room, and you could actually distract the zombies and they would go the other direction. It was kind of funny. Or you could pull them to you. So
nice.
It does work.
Over and said, "There's Elvis," and they would.
Nah, they just came after me then because they said he was too tacky.
Oh, dang! Somebody's
Guardian says his Alexa just parts on command. But all right, and then next we have the Canadian panel pony pumper. What's up, Piniac?
Yo, what's going on? Very exciting.
Oh yeah, dude, hold down some of that energy, man. I mean, this is a 2-hour show.
I know he's excited about his fantasy.
Pace yourself, dude. Pace.
Yeah.
So, we don't want you to kill it all in like 30 seconds. We don't want you to premature ejaculate or anything.
Yeah. So as far as what I've been playing, like Jesus, I'm like fraud pony over here. I've had Rebirth installed since Tuesday, and I haven't even touched it because I cannot stop playing Balatro.
And that's the card game, right?
That is the poker rogue.
That explains the lack of enthusiasm. Yeah.
No, like I'm up to 54 hours on this game.
Jesus Christ, dude!
It might be my number one game of the year.
What?
Like get played? Like I'm already at 54. I have no intention of putting it down.
You definitely need an intervention, sir.
So you say it's a card game? It's a poker game?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
The hell wrote that?
Wow.
Yobi.
And it's a card game. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I know. It just like dropped out of nowhere. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And because I pay attention to scores. Scores matter when you're in a fantasy critic league. And I'm like, 92? What the fuck is this game? I never heard of it before in my life.
Well, I mean, it's a card game. How bad could you fuck it up? Never mind.
I look at it. I was like, this looks pretty neat. And then I go check the store. And I'm like, it's $20. Yeah, okay, I'll buy that. And yeah.
Oh, it's only $20.
Yeah. Canadian, so it's probably like $15 US.
Well, here's probably like free and shit because we wouldn't play it.
So no,
we're in the US, dude. We like shoot stuff.
Yeah.
Grow shooters.
That's what Kojima said too, and everyone was like, "Hey man, you can't."
Have you ever seen what an American does to a school of fish? Huh?
You ever seen what Americans do in Georgia?
It took y'all a second to get that, didn't it? All right. Next, we have a very good friend of mine. It's been a while since he's been here. And the bad part, it's definitely one of those nights he's going to shake his head and go, damn. So give it up for the one, the only, the original Next Level Gaming, Mike Mullis. What's up, Mike?
I was gonna say this might be one of those times when a bunch of people who know me go, "What the fuck is he doing?" Yeah, this might not be. It might be a different night for old Mike. It is good to see you guys. It has been way too long. I do have some friends down in the Rumble chat. Just wanted to let you guys know. Honor Peniac, Galaxy said Rebirth has a card mini game too. So just in case you wanted to see that.
Ooh.
And but it's good to be with you guys. I've been away from YouTube because YouTube's garbage. So I've been over on Rumble playing games, having fun, doing stuff, and just watching you guys. And
He's gonna
That's
say
'cause
a
he
lot
got-
worse when this show's over.
He's got used to that Rumble talk over there. You can say what you want.
I'm a very bad influence on people. Trust me. Yeah.
No, Yobi, Mike is not back on YouTube.
Well, kind of you are right now.
Well, just tonight, just for tonight. So, well, and every other Monday when I'm on another show that dual streams, but that's it's more of a retro game show. So, but no, we're doing real well. We've got a really good. We took our channel over to Rumble, and since October we've been doing. Jesus, I'm 5 days a week over there. We do the show still on Tuesdays, but then Peter and I, really have kind of leaned into doing game streaming and having fun and playing. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Like I was one of those guys that went from I'm never going to play Fortnite a day in my life because I'm not 12 years old to buying the battle pass. Yeah, so that's me.
You didn't have to admit that to people.
That's okay. They'll find out eventually.
It's all right.
I'm still
dude.
one of those people that don't want to play Fortnite. So
you know what? I honestly, if you play with friends, if you play with other people, it's great. By yourself, it's nonsense. But I have a lot of fun playing with friends. I've met a lot of people. I've done a ton of gaming with people, like actual human beings, and
no AI.
No AI. So, but it's been. I mean, you play this stuff with a group of like 4, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. So, been doing a lot of that kind of stuff over the course of the last few months, and just kind of getting back into gaming and enjoying life. So
there you go,
and being here with you guys.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be entertaining. Yeah, we're gonna make it sure it's entertaining.
I feel like I missed.
Oh yeah,
because I'm not all fired up to talk about. You guys must know something I don't.
Well, dude,
We do know
come
something.
on. You've been on the podcast for a while now. I mean, we're kind of used to the low energy. Okay, they do make pills for that now for testosterone.
No
So you may want to check with your physician tomorrow.
Careful, he might transition. Sorry.
And next, we have the man that needs no introduction. The one, the only. Matter of fact, if you watch the video I put up earlier, the promo for the show on Rumble, this is the crazy ass. It's in the video.
Hey.
He's the one, the only Mag. What's up, buddy?
Well, it's been a long time. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Listen, this chat's already rolling. We got Mike Mollis as a guest tonight, which Mike and I never get together that often anymore, maybe like twice a year or once a year at this rate. But you know what? We always stay in contact. Wilmy, I'm always talking to you, buddy. And everybody else in the panel, you guys are awesome. We got some things to talk about, some controversy to talk about. We got some things that are really pissing me off. And it needs to get out there, man. It needs to get out there. And you know what? I've been on an absolute tear for 2024 with just verbally shredding the hell out of this industry one way or another, in a good way and mostly in a bad way. But you know what? Tonight, we have some even more dire things to talk about. So let's get into it, Wilmy. Bring it.
Yep. And of course, I got to throw this in there. I can't pick on Peniac too much. I've got about 55 hours into Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. So, but one piece of advice, if you play this game, if you haven't played it yet, everywhere you go, make sure when you come up to an area, you're not sure if you're going to come back to it, drop a rope over the ledge That way, when you do come back to it, because trust me, you're going to come back. You're going to backtrack a lot. Make sure to throw that rope over. It'll give you a shortcut to the next area again, because you will backtrack 3 and 4 times in this game. But I'm actually liking it. The combat, I think, still could have used a little bit of work. But other than that, the game's pretty good. Don't nod. I'll give you a 9.5 on this one. Definitely. And the visuals are stunning. So, and on that note,
it's definitely on my list of, when it's $20 later on, I'll definitely get it. But it's came out at the wrong time, right? Yeah, it just came out at the wrong time for me.
Yep, it'll be a while before you see that one. But first off, let's get this underway, shall we? Now, we all know about the layoffs and everything, which isn't really a big surprise because the whole gaming is just restructured. They hired a lot of people. They're letting a bunch of them go. There's not as much money being made. I don't think it's another 1983. Some of us are old enough to remember that.
Yes.
But
no.
Yeah, it's not another 1983, but something else has been going on for, I think, 3 or 4 days now. That I think Mag has a few things to say. I definitely know he's got a few things to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all of us do. But we're going to start with Mag.
Okay.
So go ahead, Mag. Let it flow.
All right. We're talking about this whole layoff and everything, the layoffs and everything else, where this industry is going.
That or the other one.
Oh, the other one. You want to get into that too? Jesus. Okay,
let's get into all of it.
Okay, well, I'll briefly do this thing about the layoffs. I'll get into that real quick. I can tell you one thing. This is absolutely not a gaming crash. It's not going to be an industry crash at all. What this is it's a course correction. It's a financial course correction that is a layover from the overstaffing that happened during the pandemic. What happened during the pandemic is you had like a 40%, 45% increase in the gaming community, and a lot of those people weren't even gamers. So what did they do? They overreacted, overstaffed, overstaffed, overproduced, put way too many games into production, did all these different things, right? And then what ends up happening is all those people who were out there, and now the world reopened, and those people who weren't gamers were allowed out of their house again. Guess what happened? They all left gaming again. So the numbers went back down to the normal levels that were before. But however, if you actually look at post layoffs, if you actually look from 2019 to 2024, the numbers are still higher now than they were in 2019. So they still hired more people along the way. What they did is they overhired, and now they have to course correct and bring it down about anywhere between 6 and 9%, right? Which puts it down to to acceptable levels. The other thing is too, you got with acquisitions and mergers, you have redundancies, obviously, right? You can't have two heads of accounting. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you're like, well, I'm the head of accounting. Oh, I'm the head of accounting. Well, one of you got to go. So who gets the golden parachute, and off you go, right? The redundancies is a thing that's going to happen when you merge two companies like ABK and Xbox Game Studios. So that was a thing. The other thing is a little bit more nefarious in my eyes, and this is something that I've preached about for the last couple of months, is I'm trying to warn everybody, but it seems to fall on deaf ears, but you'll figure it out when you get your pink slip. AI is coming for your asses. It's coming for your job, not us. But some people out there, especially the coding community, it's coming for your jobs. And you know why? I heard somebody talking about it, someone who has millions of subs. And you know what he said? He said exactly what I said. You should have heard me screaming at the phone when I was like, that's what I've been saying. These people have priced themselves out of a job. It has gotten to the point where coding, and I hate to say it, like, because people are going to think that I'm against people making money. I'm not. Obviously, I'm not against that. What I'm talking about is from the eyes of the corporation, these people have priced themselves out of a career. It's gotten to the point where it's like, especially up here in Canada, it goes anywhere from $120,000 to $200,000 a year for an average developer. Are you out of your mind? I know someone who's making $200,000 a year, working 4 days a week from home on a laptop, sitting on the couch with friends playing in the background, right? $200,000 a year. Are you out of your mind? Do you think that that's a sustainable job for that kind of money? Not a chance. When there are people out there working triple the hours, doing triple the work, and getting paid 1/3 of what they're getting paid. It's not a sustainable business. When you look at what's happening in terms of the budgets of these ballooning budgets of AAA games, it's not the software and the hardware that's costing the money. It's the humans. It's the human element that's costing too much money. When you've got a $300 million budget, $210 million of it is the people's salaries. Nice, Guardian. That's really right. It's their salaries. And the other thing is, they're taking too fucking long. It's 7 years at $200,000 a person times 400. Are you out of your mind? Do you think that was ever sustainable? It is a pipe dream. They are going to fire you. And absolutely they're going to fire you because they've been quietly, but not so quietly, working on advanced AI to take away all those redundant, what I would like to call the redundant jobs. Like you get a guy getting paid $160,000 a year to color trees, okay, in a game. A computer's going to do that very soon. AI is already doing that now. Look at the advances in 1 year in AI from last year to this year. It's almost indiscernible. When you could look at you could have deep fakes of Trump doing this and Biden saying that and Biden actually, I believe, but the Trump ones and all that stuff. But you know what I'm saying? And that's what ends up happening. So now it's got to that point where we don't need you anymore. AI doesn't sleep. AI doesn't need vacation. AI doesn't need full-time benefits. They don't need mat leave. They don't need full-time benefits for them and their kids and dental plans. They don't need any of that
stuff. Don't care about crunch.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about crunch. They're not working 38-hour work weeks.
Jason Schreier doesn't have to report on the computer doing crunch.
They don't have to do anything. They're working while everyone's sleeping. Therefore, and you know why the customer's not going to give a shit? I'll tell you why. Because everybody's going to be outraged. You're going to get an Uncharted every 2 years now. You're going to get a new Gears of War every 2 years. You're going to get a new Halo every 2 years once they've moved like another couple of years from now when the technology gets even better. Why? Because they don't need to take breaks. It just keeps going 24 hours a day. And the customer don't care because the customer is going to be getting their form of entertainment. So they're going to show outrage now, but eventually they're not going to care. And if you think I'm full of shit, let me tell you something. Go to your grocery store. Go to Walmart. In Canada, go to Superstore. Go to Target. And I want you to go right in the front of that store and look all the way down that aisle. And look at the 25 booths of cash registers. Those used to be human beings. Those used to be human jobs. Now you've got one cash register open, which is the express lane for old people. And then you've got the self-checkout where you have one person standing there with their arms crossed. And, once in a while you screw the thing up, beep, beep. And then it's like, wait for an attendant. And they come over and they flash their stupid little card. So you now have, instead of 25 people working the job, you now have 2. What's going to happen when you look at studios like 343, 500 people, 600 people, it's going to be 80 people, and then the rest of it will be done by AI. So that's what's going on there. Anyways, besides all that, let's get into Sweet Baby Cake. Yeah.
Well, hang on, Mag, because there's one other piece of this that people are not catching too. As those budgets are ballooning up for development, the price of the games are going up, and people are not buying them because the game, and some of this is about what you're about to talk about, the quality of the games are going down. Mm-hmm. They're taking way too long, and then when they come out, they're not what people were expecting them to be. They're not selling, and so what are people going to expect?
If you make a game with an $800 million budget, it sells 1 million copies. That's not. It's just not feasible.
Close.
No,
because you also have marketing. You have. You have all of that overhead. You've got distribution, and if you're still selling physical, which is also something else that is changing in a great way in the industry, you're still printing discs and boxes and whatnot. So there's a lot more that goes
Microsoft
in making that. Well, not as much. No, you're right, but I mean. It's like a movie. You have all the overhead and all the extra things that go into what that budget is, and you can't hit those anymore. And everybody's trying to be the biggest of this, the open worldist of that. And I do believe there's a bit of fatigue that's going on in the industry and some of that too. If you see some of the games that are really taking off, there's some of the small point to point, just let me go in, tell me what the fuck to do, and let me go do it and finish the game and be done. None of these 200-hour action RPGs anymore. It's all about these smaller 5 to 7 hour experiences, and you're only paying $30-$40 for them rather than these giant $70 games. I would be surprised if Skull and Bones, and Hypocrite, I bought it. Peter bought it. We bought it to play it because we wanted to try it out. I would be shocked if Peter and I aren't the only two people that bought that game.
Yeah, no, you are. I definitely didn't. And I've done work for Ubisoft, so it's kind of funny. But the thing is, Mike, you said something about the budgets. Where you're talking about, you look at Hollywood. Hollywood, for example, it's the general rule in Hollywood is 2.5 times the budget. That's what you need to make in order to not only pull a profit, but what else that does is that funds those big tentpole movies, fund the indie movies, the smaller movies, the rom-coms. Those get funded by an Avengers movie or whatever before they went all woke and destroyed the entire, mouse house. But you know what I'm saying? Like a $2 billion Avengers movie would fund 5 rom-coms and 2 horror flicks. Right. And then that's how, and then of course everybody takes their salaries and whatever else as well. Now what's happening is that people are backing off of the big games. Why? There's multiple reasons too. You got to look at inflation and everything else. And I mean, if it costs, and the other thing is too, the pricing of games, and this is going to be even more controversial, going to piss a lot of people off. The pricing of games is actually completely outdated with the way that everything else is pricing. I'm not saying we need to pay more, but don't be surprised if in American, you're going to be paying about $80, $90 to $100 a game very soon. We were paying, Wilmy, you were there, $90, $100 a game in the 90s.
Yep.
Remember that?
If you bought Zelda.
Yep, $100.
I think I paid $120 for one.
There you go.
And I'll be the devil's advocate on that one. Sure. So the whole going up in price, well, then you better give me the full game and not make me pay another $50 for stuff you left out because you want to charge me extra.
Oh, that's going to be the catch there. They're not going to add that.
No, exactly.
3-day early access. Pay an extra $40, boys.
Again, and that's
right.
And that's the problem with the way,
right.
And just like what ABK found out with Diablo 4, as much as I love that game, they shot themselves in the foot because they looked at microtransactions as the way to make money before they cared about the game. I hate to say that because I love that freaking game. And unfortunately, they ruined the looter part out of the game because literally to get the best looking stuff, you have to pay for it.
And see, it kind of goes back to what Mag was saying there. They have to find some way to try to recoup some of what they spent.
So essentially what they've done is that in a roundabout way, they're still making you pay $100 for the game, which is what it should be reflected in terms of general inflation and, of course, with the rising cost of it. I mean, if I'm paying 3 times what I was paying last year for eggs, what makes us think, what arrogance makes us think that video games are going to stay the exact same price forever? That's absolute lunacy. And then, like I said, I'm not advocating for it. I'm not happy about it. In my business, though, what I do, my costs have gone up anywhere between 40 and 60%. And I have to fight with the head of the corporation constantly about money, saying, you guys are not given enough to battle simple, basic, bank-level inflation. And then, of course, this other crazy inflation on top of it, right, which has happened just over the last year. That's what's happening in the game industry now, too. They're going to start charging more, and they're going to find a way to do it. I heard rumors, I'm sure you guys have heard this, too. Spider-Man 3 might be broken up into 2 parts. Right?
Yep.
You don't think they're going to charge $50 each and still make their $100 off of one game?
Oh, absolutely.
There you go.
No,
and Peniac said it.
Look at Final Fantasy.
They'll charge full price for each one of them.
Yeah,
Final
Fantasy.
Peniac
I'll buy it. I'll buy
3-day early
Spider-Man
access.
3 and Spider-Man 4.
Right.
Guaranteed.
Peniac, what'd you say? 3-day early access, 4-day early access.
Extra $30, and people do
right?
it.
And you know that every YouTuber, reviewer, and all those other guys are going to do that. You know why? Because they need to get their hands on it first so that when the game actually releases, they've already got the review up on YouTube.
And not just that, then you're going to have all the FOMO people, which, I mean, that's just how it is.
FOMOs,
anyway now. FOMO kills, I mean, that's what gets everybody typically. It's like, I got to play it first, or I want to play it first. Kind of like, I mean, Starfield was kind of that way for me. It was like I had FOMO with Starfield, and then when I got it, I was like, well, shit, I shouldn't have paid the extra, but whatever. It is what it is. But, it's still, and of course, that's on me. I mean, hey, I make bad financial decisions on the daily, so it's fine.
You're a man. It's all good. It's
Yeah.
all good.
So, but I mean, inevitable. I mean, I know. It's just like consoles. Consoles are eventually going to be more than $500, and we should be okay with that. Especially for the console side that really want all these extra bells and whistles and not having 30 frames per second and not being held to under 4K and all this stuff. Well, yeah, it costs money. So you have to pay for $1,000 console. But guess what? If you have $1,000 console, it'll last you 10 years and still be able to and you won't have to necessarily have a mid-gen refresh. But of course, I know for console people, $1,000 is just too much for sure. But
Bomber, I would point out that, and I want to push back on that, because if you looked at Microsoft's marketing, I'm going to bang on Xbox here a little bit. Even on the box, it says 4K 120 hertz gaming. I mean, we were promised, and that's what pisses me off about the console, kind of the console industry itself, is we get promised things and then we don't get those things, and then they come out with a refresh, a PS5 Pro and Xbox One X, and those are basically, like, I called the Xbox One X an apology console, is basically what it was. It was a, hey, we didn't mean to shortchange you on the last console, so here's something 2 years later that does this. We were on the Xbox Series X, we were sold on this most powerful console ever designed. It was supposed to be 4K 60. It was supposed to be, and like, I'm sorry, there is nothing that Todd Howard can look me in the eye and tell me that tells me that Starfield on that console can't run at 60 frames per second. Well, I'm watching people with PCs that have similar hardware, not even similar hardware, run it at 60 with no issue. That design choice bullshit, it has been a real problem when it comes to that. So
wait, get his words right. Creative decision.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, it just shows you that their focus was the PC all along. But that's a creative decision.
That
was a whole other story.
This now,
right?
So we don't have the ability to do this. That's all that is. I think there's, like you said, there's no fucking way that Starfield cannot run on 60 on the X. No way.
Xbox customers, if anybody hasn't noticed that the last 5 years, Xbox customers are playing second fiddle to PC. Ever since they started going day and date on PC, their focus is PC. Xbox consoles themselves are your second class citizen, and I feel that way, and I know that that's exactly what's happening, and that's why I feel that when Colt and I heard about about halfway through last year that they were talking about the next gen consoles coming in 2026, and then of course I got word as to what they're doing. I'm like, they're about to do it again. They're about to do it again. You hear the similar wording. You hear what what's her name said, Sarah Bond said. It's going to be a big technical leap and all this other not. From what I know, and from what I know from people on the inside who already worked on the project, the Surface team, not Jason Ronald, is making that next gen console. They're making a dockable handheld. It's going to be a Switch 2, right? And then they'll have a dedicated box for under the TV. That I know. And so I'm just like, well, they're doing it again. Yes, thank you, Mr. Kima. You're absolutely right too. COVID did stunt the growth of this gen consoles, and that's why I think that what they've done by announcing new consoles already, I think that we haven't got our money's worth on some, on the hardware, particularly on the Xbox side. I don't feel that we got our money's worth, and I'm not going to buy a new console in 2026 until I feel I've squeezed everything out of that Series X. Because, like Mike said, we were promised something, and I don't feel like we got it.
Well, we were promised a lot and never received any of it.
Yeah.
No, and I've had this issue, and I've had arguments with people on this issue. I'm actually getting a little tired of being lied to, right? I'm getting tired of the same people that
waiting for that next E3, right?
Well, not just that, but I seem to remember right after Bethesda was acquired by Microsoft, Phil Spencer sat down, looked everybody in the eye, and said, "If you're on an Xbox console, we want to make sure you guys know that you're getting blah blah, the best experience. We're doing all this for you. We're doing all this for you." And don't get me wrong, I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit that Sea of Thieves went to PlayStation. I really don't. I mean, whatever. But the fact that then he goes and tells The Verge, well, you can't really ever close the door on putting Starfield and Indiana Jones on the PlayStation. I'm like, shut up, stop talking, stop, because we all banged on Jim Ryan for opening his mouth, and every time he opened his mouth, birds flew out. Phil has the same problem. He's had that problem since 2013. He's had that problem since the Rise of the Tomb Raider debacle. The man needs to shut up, because I'm getting to a point to where I don't really care. I play everything. I have everything. But when you can't, and I don't idolize and worship these people like some others do. Nobody in this call, but I don't idolize and worship company executives. When I can no longer kind of believe what somebody's telling me because I know they're going to go someplace else and say something else, that's when you start to have an issue with me as a consumer. And this has been a problem that's kind of crept up. I've said a little bit about it, but I've kind of kept it kind of low key. Mag sort of threw a lighter at me on that one a little bit. But I just, this whole part of what's going on in gaming is I'm with you, Mag. I have no intentions of buying a PS5 Pro or an Xbox, whatever the hell next Xbox is.
Because, I'm not either.
Oh, I will.
No,
I have no problem.
As long as it's adorably digital.
Well, that's my thing is that, yeah, they're going to come out with whatever they come out with next. We all know that, and they're both going to sell very well. The problem is, no, I think both of them will. Regardless, I think Xbox is still going to sell well. I mean, they did with the Series X apparently. Of course, we all know focuses on PC. So is PlayStation. PlayStation's focuses on PC now as well. You see this transition over. It's not a big deal. I think people do get upset when everybody's like, oh my God, these games are going to go to the other platform. Who freaking cares? Just buy the box that you like to play games on. And when the games come on, they're cool. You get to play them. Who cares if anybody else gets to enjoy them? Like, I don't see why there's such a big deal about, oh my gosh, I got to have this one box is the only one I can have, so this is the only one I want all my games.
Well, that's where all your
that's just not
YouTubers come in.
I mean, that's just not going to happen. You just can't. Again, we've already seen it. I mean, PlayStation is pushing more towards PC more than they ever have. Xbox just jumped on it a lot sooner because they knew that they were already behind on console anyway, and they knew that this was their transition. Cloud was their next transition. PlayStation just was a little bit later, just because they had more success in the console side for sure.
They don't have to follow the trends that Microsoft do. And a lot of people misinterpret that. I've said that a lot. I've said that a lot on XNC, and I've said, Coltis and I have actually, pushed back against each other on that. Where he's like, "Oh," and he would say the industry's going this way, and I'm like, "No, it's not." I'm like, Microsoft is going that way because they're in last place. There's a big difference between where the industry is going and what's happening, and the focus. And the reason why Sony seems to be slow to the slow to the starting line, it's not because they're slow; it's because they don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're selling a shit ton of hardware. Same with Nintendo. You wait till that Switch 2 comes out. Is there going to be any talk about anything else? The Switch 2 is going to dominate the planet when it comes out. This talk about
5 years behind in the cost of the machine being built. So that's the difference between Nintendo versus Sony and Microsoft. Sony and Microsoft have to be the top of the creme in console wise. Like, they have to have the most expensive hardware put into them because that's kind of their thing. They want to push graphics to the whatever extent you can. which yet we have yet to see that happen with both consoles, of course. But that's what they do, and so we see it with the consumer. The consumer gets hit with the higher $500 price tag or $550 now, because they had to go up for whatever reasons, and so. But then Nintendo is going to come out and say, "All right, here's our piece of hardware that's 5 years older at the start of the gen. It's 5 gens behind, but yet you're still going to buy it because you still want Mario."
And here's Mario number 38 to go with
100%. And we know
it's going to sell like mad.
I mean, Nintendo sold freaking cardboard. Of course, Nintendo's going to sell. Okay.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, I'm not so sure about, like, if you look at like what I was talking about before, if this all comes to fruition with this Microsoft Surface dockable thing, how much power do you think you could fit in that? And that's something that has to be, when they announce that, and they will announce it sometime this year. What's coming up, because Sarah did talk about that in the apology tour 2024 when they did the sit down, and that's what I call it. Every 2 years they go on apology. It's like Beyonce goes on a world tour. Beyonce goes on a world tour every 2 years. Microsoft goes on an apology tour every 2 years to talk about their redirection of where the fuck they're going. Like, nobody cares. Right. Just release awesome games.
How everyone thought it was going to be like this live thing, and then like an hour
it was pre-recorded.
It was pre-recorded, and it was going to be uploaded on the dot. And it's like,
actually, they said it was pre-recorded. Somebody said it was going to be pre-recorded.
It's because nobody pays attention.
And they were handed softballs instead of like underhanded pitches instead of like, you know what I mean, like 98 mile per hour fastballs. They're being thrown underhand pitches, and of course they're knocking the questions out of the park. Anyways, whatever.
Nothing they said in that couldn't have just simply been the announcement that they made.
Of course, but
all they had to do. But
I will say this, and this is just not saying to defend them in any way, but they suck at sending a tweet out and making it clear coded for what people need to hear. Because like if they would have just tweeted these games are coming, then that would have been 100%. Oh, everything is coming. Everything is coming to every console. So Xbox is worth this to own, and it's like that's not what.
But they're doing that anyway now. I mean, it doesn't matter. They're doing that anyway.
Again, it still hasn't, even if they are or not, because right now, currently, they are not. But until they do, they do. But it won't change my perception of them. I'll still buy the next Xbox because it's going to be more powerful than my Xbox I have now. And I mean, just as simple as that. The only downside, of course, is it just being fully only digital, which is probably going to be the case. Because that's what's cheaper for them to make, even though a disc drive is $10, not even $10 probably in their cost, probably like $3. But that is
also a rumor. It's just a rumor. I'm not saying that's fact. The rumor that they're going to sell the disc drive separately.
Yeah, they're
like remember
Sony.
Yep.
Yeah. You remember back in the day in the 360 they had the HD DVD that you could buy separately.
Still have it.
It'll be the same one. Yeah, there you go. It'll be the same idea. But again, that's rumor. I can't say that that's fact. I'm just saying that's a rumor that's the way they're going to go, and it'll cost about $89.99. So
one last thing before because you said something else like really that kind of hits home, and that Microsoft is and I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to push the market. Right. That's what they think that they have the capital to do, is to push the market, because, well, now we have Bethesda, we have all this stuff. Now we have ABK. We can dictate where the market goes. And to your point, and this is something where I do fully understand where some of the angst from the like very, very pro Xbox kind of part of the social media sphere is. Now, obviously, we're all the minority of what gaming is. Like, all of us on social media, we think we're bigger than we are, and we're really not. However, the folks that are out there saying, well, Microsoft's giving up stuff to Sony, what are they getting back from Sony in this wonderful new utopia of everybody wins when everybody can play? And the answer is jack shit. They're getting MLB because they have to. They're getting Marathon because they were contracted to. But beyond that, they're getting nothing. And I can understand to the second class citizen part, Microsoft's giving up. They're not big. Sea of Thieves is the biggest game out of the four. And I would contend, there's still 30 million people that play Sea of Thieves. So I could kind of put that as kind of a B tier game and, kind of right below the Halo Gears, A tier stuff. Grounded is Grounded. It's whatever. Pentiment, all right, fine. And then, what was the fourth one was Hi-Fi Rush, which that one I don't understand because that was their one like diamond in the rough hit from last year. You would think that would be what you'd want to hold on to bring people in that are playing Pentiment to go, well, now I want to see what else Xbox has. Well, here, come over and play Hi-Fi Rush. But they're not getting anything back. And it's because Sony's not stupid. They're going, oh, yeah, come on. Yeah, absolutely. Well, come on, take this. What, you want gear? You want God of War? No. But we'll take your games. But no. But we'll take your games. And that's what, it's they're kind of getting over a barrel on Microsoft in that way. And understandably, that's pissing people off because now your message is, then why own an Xbox, right? If I can go over and play God of War, Sea of Thieves, and eventually, because of course, again, Phil opened up his mouth, eventually Starfield and Indiana Jones and Elder Scrolls 6 and all those are going to be on PlayStation. I just have to wait it out like I did for Rise of the Tomb Raider. Why am I going to invest in another Xbox console? What, for Game Pass? I don't give a shit about that. I'll go buy the games over here. That's where their problem lies. And it's where, in my estimation, they're losing mind share on that.
But I think the overall thing you kept saying is like, what is Microsoft getting? Microsoft's getting a lot of money. Microsoft's getting a lot of players playing. They're getting a lot of people looking at the games. Yes. Does that mean, are they going to switch over? I don't think Microsoft's even in the realm of caring if those players have to go buy an Xbox or subscribe to Game Pass. As long as they enjoy those
Bomber's
games.
kind of like in the same area. Go ahead, Bomber.
Yeah. Sorry. Like I just think that Microsoft's in it in a different way. Like they're like because the way you said is like, what is Microsoft getting? They're getting nothing. No, they're getting a lot of things. They're getting eyes on games that never would have ever done it. Lots of them because we know that there's tons of PlayStations out there and a lot of Switches. So that gives them a lot of money that the game digitally is so cheap to disperse. They get whatever deal they have to make with those companies. Okay, cool. And they sent 4 games. Cool. Hi-Fi Rush, as they even said, even in like Pentiment, was like they didn't even mean it to be an exclusive. They just happened to just drop it when they drop it. Cool. So it probably would have been a regular release and sent to multiple things, just like they did with like Minecraft Dungeons and stuff like that. It would have been a regular release, and it probably wouldn't have made as big of a splash as it did with the Shadow Drop. So I don't see any problem with it. I mean, I think their intent overall is they're there to make money. They know that they're still gonna please the Xbox people that still have Xboxes, and that's the only thing they own is an Xbox. They're still gonna have games. They're still gonna have day one releases in Game Pass, which is still a perk overall with all the different studios they have. So yes, they're gonna have a lot of AAA games that release in 1 year that you don't have to pay a dime for other than your monthly sub, which is a benefit over either Nintendo or PlayStation currently. Now, are those games going to be, are they worth the, say, $80 per game? I don't know yet. I mean, Indiana Jones could easily be. It also could be pretty terrible. I don't know. That's the thing. Like, and that's one thing. Like, Microsoft has never given financials when it comes to like sales of games. They just say engagement, right? Engagement's all they care about. And that's why they set the games that have high engagement from Xbox and send them over there. That's why they didn't send Starfield, because it doesn't have as much of a high engagement as it used to. So I think Starfield probably is one that's probably going to definitely go. I don't see why not. And I don't think that should hurt anybody's feelings about, I shouldn't have an Xbox anymore. I'm like, well, I mean, do you care that a game that's over a year old is now going somewhere? And it's kind of like the PlayStation guys. Like, they don't care if Spider-Man all of a sudden became went to the Xbox. Not one person that owns a PlayStation will, all right, I guess I need to get rid of my PlayStation and only go Xbox. No, you've had that game for over 2 years. You won't care about it now. So I think that's ultimately what I think is going to happen. It's going to be a slow burn. Eventually a game will come over that's big, like Indiana Jones or something like that. And it will happen for sure. But I don't think that should really like hurt somebody's feelings. But then, I mean, it's easy to hurt people's feelings when it comes to video games for sure. Because anything I'm saying right now is hurting some feelings.
Well, do you think it's a way to inflate numbers?
No, it's for sure.
Way.
No.
Well,
I don't think
what I mean by that is, if these are going to be gas games, your games as a service, like Sea of Thieves, most of these games now that you buy, even like Square Enix is bad for it, you have to sign up and create an account. Right? So if anything's coming from Microsoft Studios or Xbox Studios, whichever one they want to call it, you're going to probably have to set up a Microsoft account.
Like you did with Minecraft.
Yeah, will that count as a sub?
No.
That they can use for their numbers.
No, I don't think
It'll
so.
count as a it'll be a monthly access. It'll be a monthly active user. Absolutely.
It'll be
count that in there.
That's the number.
That's what I was getting at.
Now those numbers, yeah, because I mean that's a user. That's not a sub. That's not a subscriber.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah, so right. I would say a monthly active user for sure. Of course. I mean that's why look at Minecraft. They still have over 100 million active users on that game. Of course, it's spread over every iPad, every freaking Switch, every PC. I mean, it's on everything. There's nothing that you can play that doesn't have Minecraft on it. So I mean, they're gonna have their numbers for sure, but it's not gonna. I don't think they're gonna be like all of a sudden. Oh, now we have 80 million Game Pass subscribers. No, that's not gonna be the case.
No, that's not why it's even being done.
No,
they're sending the games over. One, because the FTC is still watching. Two, they're just seeing what engagement they will get with the games. But three, as a PlayStation owner, people are not going to play these games. That's why they send them anyway. People are not going to play these games because guess what? The majority of PlayStation players don't even play their own damn games. So it's not going to affect anybody when it comes to the bottom line. This is a chance for Xbox to get their own money, show to the government that they are sharing stuff that's not going to hurt them as a brand or at their bottom dollar as far as hurting us, like sending something as like a Halo or a Gears. And once they send those games over, what will really help and as far as Xbox and Microsoft gaining more people is when you start having Call of Duty and Game Pass, especially brand new Call of Duty titles in there. Because the only people that are moving and buying new consoles aren't brand new babies who their mom or dad said, hey, this is Xbox family, you're getting a brand new Xbox. People are moving over because of what they can play, their third-party games. How many people, when Call of Duty switched over to PlayStation having all their marketing rights, switched over to PlayStation just because of marketing rights for Call of Duty? Hundreds of thousands of people did that because all they do is play Call of Duty. When you see your favorite streamer, your favorite player playing Call of Duty on that console with that controller, whatever, it's mind share, and then that's where you gain people. You're not going to gain anybody from those 4 games. So a lot of the times when I see these people, like you'll say, Mike, what are you getting in return? You are not getting in return, but showing good faith to everybody from the outside, but you're still making your money. The money that you made from our side, the money that we talked about earlier. Look at all these, because a lot of people say, why do we have Game Pass? Well, if this and this and this, people have Game Pass because you can get the games for your subscription. But like we talked earlier, how many people, Starfield, this game, Forza, everything, you spent the extra $30, even though you can quote unquote get it free with your subscription to play it early. They're making money off the people that are joining the subscription, the people who buy their physical games, and the few people on the other side who will buy that. But until you get stuff like Call of Duty and these things in Game Pass, that's when they turn the needle. The whole reason they didn't put the new Call of Duty in there is because PlayStation had the marketing rights and they were just finishing up the ABK deal. But once all of this stuff starts, maybe next year or whenever they put the old Call of Duties in there and those servers that people are still playing today, like Cold War and not Modern Warfare, but World War II, people still playing those games. That's the only reason you're going to see switch. People are not switching from console to console because they're stuck in the ecosystem now. Once you have all these games, especially now digital games, where you're not having a solid disc, it's hard for people to move. So you're not going to move people to just drop their PlayStation, come to Xbox, or drop their Xbox to go to PlayStation unless something crazy happens. So this is a long play. The problem with Xbox is half the time we don't see their long play until 7-8 years ago, and then you go, oh wow, that's what they were doing. They were just ahead of the time, i.e. TV apps on your console, DRM, all those different things. We don't care
DRM,
shit about it now. But then
always online.
This is 2013 all over again. I can't believe they're doing this. They don't understand the brand. They don't do. And then everybody's like, oh yeah, I do that all the time, man. Yeah. So it's just a wait and see. But I don't think with analytics and people who do software 24/7 would be this dumb if they didn't plan it already what they're going to do. You're right. Phil sometimes doesn't. He's not a nice guy because he's a very shrewd businessman, but sometimes he likes to play both sides of the line when he's talking in front of press. And that's the only reason we're getting most of this stuff.
And then also Microsoft screwed up with having a face of of gaming. That was the problem. And the same like with, when Aaron Greenberg and Larry Herb and all them, everybody put a face with it, so he has to be like this nice guy, which I mean, he probably is a nice guy. I mean, I don't know the guy from Adam, but I mean, he could be a very awesome guy. He apparently has done well for Microsoft. I mean, they've went from pretty much selling to now acquiring every company in the world. So, I mean, he's doing something right over there, but yeah, I mean, are there going to be promises that are, I guess, broken, like the VR stuff? Yeah, for sure. But I will say to kind of go back on that, like the 120 and all that. I mean, they're both going to show 120, 60 frames, 8K. They're all part of the every scheme. Day. But I do play.
It's not the consoles; it's the developers.
Yeah, it's up to the developer, and that's
the developers. And that's even in the work.
And unfortunately, and I will go with Mike though, is like, yeah, Starfield. Yeah, I mean, come on, should have definitely been 60. But hey, that's just me. Shoot, it probably could be 120 to be honest. But again, I know the game is a slower paced game. It's not very twitchy, so it doesn't really like necessarily need a 120, but 60, it definitely needs 60. I mean, I think I've watched
people play it in 60, and it just makes me not want to play it on the Xbox.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I agree with that for sure. Yes.
No, you don't play Starfield for the visuals on an Xbox. You play it on PC, and you do that with most every games. Because that's what I'm saying. Play it on PC because most of the developers for years now, you do not see a console get maxed out until usually the last year of the console cycle. And it's getting further and further because of COVID. Folks are cutting corners. They're just pushing out the games, and then it's just more work for them to do. So you see a lot of people. And when I say developers, these decisions aren't necessarily the guys who are putting in code every day. It's the head of the boards who are looking at quarterly profits, who want the game out, and you have to cut corners when you say your sharp deadline is here, whether the game is ready or not. But no, nobody's maxing out.
As CD Projekt Red.
Yep.
Right. Nobody's maxing out these consoles.
Oh God, Redfall. Yeah. Jesus, don't get me started with Redfall again.
Plus, it pisses me off about maxing out consoles when the chip that they decide to use, when they decide to use it, the console still didn't come out to 3 or 4 years later. So that's just like buying you a brand new PC and sitting it in the box for 4 years, and then you want to give it an update.
Right.
when you open it out the
Right.
box and wonder, man, why is there so many computers faster than mine? That's what consoles are.
That's what
They're
Bomber
always
does with
gonna be
his own
behind.
PC.
Hey, that's what I do
Bomber
every
called me
day.
up one day and goes, guess what? I got a brand new Tandy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, my overall take is a lot of this stuff I don't care about because I have Game Pass. So obviously for me, you know, I don't particularly care what goes over to PlayStation. I can understand. I guess my thing was I can understand where people are like, are you third party or are you not? Or are you just, you know, you're going to put R&D into a console that you don't even care if people buy. And that's kind of the messaging that they need to fix, especially when a couple years before they sit there and they tell you, you know, we don't want you, if you are an Xbox console owner, to feel like a second class citizen. Well, they do. And whether or not it's, yeah, they're going to get so on the back end. Yes, I've said this. I mean, in fact, the NLG show that we talked about it, my subject line for that show was, when everybody plays, we all make money. So I know as much as anybody, and I've been in the industry in the journalism side for a long time. I'm privy, you know, I understand the financial aspect, and you're absolutely right. They're going to get money from this. You know, one thing Phil said in that podcast, which again, when you turn around and tell The Verge, it's not out of the realm to send my big games over to PlayStation because you never know, is that, and I don't think people picked up on this, that, you know, getting those games introduces people that might not really know Xbox to Xbox, right? And I think Sea of Thieves is a great platform to introduce people to the Xbox ecosystem more than Minecraft, because Minecraft was not, you know, Minecraft was purchased, and, you know, most people were playing Minecraft well before Microsoft purchased them, whereas Sea of Thieves was an in-house rare game. So, you know, the idea, I hope, which is what they were thinking, was, yeah, play Sea of Thieves, sign up for that Microsoft account, and when you're ready to see our big guns, come on over to Game Pass. Even if you don't want to buy it on an Xbox, yeah, play it on your phone, play it on your tablet, or buy an Xbox console, which really will let you play Starfield in 30 frames per second. I mean, you know, come over to our side and play some of these bigger games. That gets negated. And then I'll cede the floor completely so we can get to the other stuff. That gets negated when Phil then opens the door or doesn't close the door to those games going over there. And where people say, well, you can't say it'll never happen. I get that. So what you say is, and I could have, you know, if Phil had paid me, I could have solved this for him in a minute. When Tom Warren, first off, Tom Warren wouldn't have asked him the question if they didn't do that infernal podcast. But when he asks him the question, the answer is, these are the 4 games that are coming over. We want people to come over when they're done playing those, and play Starfield and Indiana Jones on our platform. That's all you have to say. And that tells people subliminally, no, it's not coming over to PlayStation because we want you to come to Xbox. That's all he had to say.
Now you just gave your answer why they did a pre-recorded show, because when you do live and interviews that you don't plan ahead of time, most times you say stupid stuff that you didn't mean to say or let out.
Preach.
Right, but my point was they could have simply put out the news.xbox.com article that said these are the 4 games that are going over. And by the way, and at the bottom they were very clear, the best games are still on Xbox. Day 1 Game Pass. All the things that he said were in that press release. That's all they had to put out. And then don't go talk to The Verge. Just put the games out and let the company just run the company. You never see, other than Jim Ryan, you know, when he opens up his mouth and birds fly out, you never see most of the other executives for PlayStation talking. You never hear Shuhei Yoshida talk. when you heard the other PR folks talking, they had the same message. You never, ever, 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 ever heard Jim Ryan say, we think day one, there's never been ambiguity that day one games for PlayStation are going into PS Plus. You know why? Because they've never opened the door to it. They might in 5 years.
We believe in
they've never said it. But they've never said. But there's a difference between. There's a difference between. I don't think it was a lie. I think market conditions change.
No, I didn't say lie. He was something that wasn't planned. He was talking in an interview, and he put his foot in his mouth.
No, that was during one of the showcase in like June 2020.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. Yeah, I don't have a problem with saying something and then the market changes your direction, right? And Xbox has been the same way, right? Market can change your direction. That's fine. But he's never deviated from that message. And that's the difference, is that 5 minutes after that damn podcast came out, Tom Warren's got this tweet. Well, look what Phil said. And then the internet goes, well, shit. So that's what that's really the big thing that I've got.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Yes. No, I'm ceding the floor. I'm
done too. I haven't said anything in a bit.
The conversation.
But I'm going to say one last thing, and then we can move on to another topic of conversation. And before I have to run off, this all hinges on the fact that they need to release consistently good games. Right. All this talk, all of these plans, all of this rhetoric, all of the arguing and the posturing and the visions of the future and business models means fuck all if you don't release good games. And they aren't releasing they have not consistently released good games this entire generation. My favorite games of this generation were Forza 5 and Psychonauts 2. Best games of the generation for Xbox, hands down. Specifically, Psychonauts 2, my favorite Xbox game of possibly the last decade, right? Other than that, it's just not hitting. And it's not even hitting with the Xbox community. That it doesn't matter where you send it to PlayStation. It doesn't matter if you send it to Nintendo or you send it to the Ouya or you send it to the, to whatever other box. Okay. The point is, if they aren't consistently good, no one's going to give a shit. So they need to focus on not all this noise. They need to focus on, guys, girls, people, we need to release 5 or 6 bangers in a row so that we have a new narrative going forward that Xbox has the ability to consistently release excellent games. If you cannot do that, which they have not done that for 10 years, then consistently, I said, I'm not saying all games are bad. I'm saying consistently. And that is where their competition blows them out of the water. I like Turtles too, Loops. I like Turtles too. They're nice. They're excellent in soup, by the way. But anyways, besides all that, that's all it boils down to. Is it boils down to, no pun intended, with the turtle soup reference. Great games. Great games is all that's all that matters, because then all of this will go away and people will flock to the Xbox ecosystem. They will buy the games on the PlayStation ecosystem, because you're not going to get a lot of those PlayStation people to go over to Xbox. They're going to stay where they are. But if they can get some of those games over there, they will buy them. But they're not going to buy mediocrity. People are not going to leave another console to go to another console for mediocrity. It needs to be consistently good. If it's not, I canceled Game Pass. I canceled Game Pass a year and a half ago, and I don't miss a goddamn thing. And I said it to Colt. I said it to a lot of people. I've lost a lot of followers over it, and I don't fucking care. You know what I did say? I said, if you release a good game, I'll buy it, because you haven't proved to me that you can consistently release something that's worth my $20 a month Canadian for Game Pass. I'm not going to do it. If I could just buy the damn game, okay? And I'll do that. I'll buy one game if it's amazing, and then I'll leave it at that. Other than that, I'm looking at you side-eyed until you can consistently release quality, and that's where it's going to go. As it stands right now, the only game I can absolutely tell you that I'm going to buy from Xbox this year is going to be Call of Duty, because I buy Call of Duty every year. Even a lot of people bitched about Modern Warfare 3. I love that game.
I do too.
You never played with me, Mag.
Well, Scrub, we could fix that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you'll see me online, and it doesn't matter what system we're on because it's all cross-play. So, hey, the face showed up just for that. Listen, at the end of the day, that's all it boils down to. I don't have to keep running in circles about it, but that's what it does. Because if you're going to consistently release what they've been releasing so far, all these plans are going to fall apart yet again. And in 3 years, they're going to do another apology tour, and they're going to have a new vision of the future. And this is what keeps happening. This is like the fourth time it's happened since 2013. They keep changing lanes. We're going this way now. Now we're going this way. Now we're going this way. Now we're going this way. And they do it because they're not able to consistently. Yeah, wait. Indiana Jones is another one. I'm looking side-eyed.
Has been rebuilt 4 times now.
Right? Like, I mean, I need to see that game in its final form. I want to see what the hell's that guy's name? God, I watch all his videos. Anyways, Skill Up. I want to see what Skill Up says because his reviews are very comprehensive and excellent. And I'm like, I want to see what he says or whatever. And if it's great, I'll buy it. But if not, I'm not buying into your business model. I'm not buying into your future, and I'm not buying into your plans until you prove otherwise. So, on to Sweet Baby Inc.
Yep.
So,
Now,
no Hellblade 2 for Mag.
Well, I don't know.
That's a
I don't know.
no.
We'll see.
we got to do it. So let's. I couldn't pass it.
No,
All right.
that's great.
It's the shut up mic button.
I don't know if anybody's actually noticed. There's been a trend the last couple of days. We have a saying, and it's some of us older people that say it a lot. If you don't know history, sometimes it can actually repeat itself. Sometimes you can actually turn into the very thing you claim you hate. That happens a lot, believe it or not. And this came to my attention yesterday, and I started following it, looking around at it. I wasn't even sure who Sweet Baby Incorporated was at the moment until I started looking into it.
Sounds like a porn site.
No, that's
Dude, it would. That's kind of what I thought at first. I'm like, but what the hell does that do with gaming? This is basically Gamergate Part 2. This is a group of people that basically tell you what you should play and what you shouldn't and what it should contain.
Sounds like the government.
Well, yeah, sort of, kind of, but they're in Canada. There are 3 of the people on this panel are.
Oh,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Nah.
So we'll blame Mag, Peniac, and Canada for this
you
one.
damn Canadians.
No, I'll just
Listen,
blame
man, I'm already
Canada.
embarrassed enough. Canada's already turning into a communist country. Justin Trudeau is doing that. Nickelback was created here.
Hey,
Celine
Nickelback
Dion was created here. I don't know what the hell's going on. And Sweet Baby
The
Inc.
only
I'm
good
leaving
thing
this
that
country.
came out of
Justin
there, dude,
Bieber.
was
out of your mouth.
Justin Bieber,
Ryan.
Ryan Reynolds, baby.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. We'll take Ryan. You keep every fucking thing else up there, man.
Well, Captain Kirk as well was from Toronto. He's from where I live. But I mean,
Shit.
come on, man. Either way, I got to get the hell out of here. I got to move down. I got to move
Go
down
ahead,
south.
Mag.
Okay, listen, Sweet Baby. I got to say this because I do have to bow out because I do got some things I got to attend to. However, Sweet Baby Inc. I've known about these clowns for a very long time, and actually, it's funny how some people are already getting it twisted. When you criticize someone like them, they're the same kind of people who have infiltrated Hollywood. And then I started noticing it more and more in games, and I'm like, huh. And as I get through some of these games, I'm like, these are starting to sound like Hollywood movies with our identity. Basically, instead of focusing on a great experience, great writing, great stories, great gameplay, all that kind of stuff, they get these guys in here, and what they do is that there's a company out there called BlackRock. And BlackRock is a company that basically funds the entire planet when it comes to entertainment, right? And what they have is they have all the money. And they have a system called the DEI system, which is the diversity, equity, and inclusion point system. So what they did is that they created an incentive system for Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, all these other guys. And what they do is that the more they shove that stuff, anything in there, even if it makes no goddamn sense, they get DEI points. And those points reward them with more investment money. And so they do. So it's sometimes you're watching something or playing something and you're going, what the fuck just happened? Right? And it just seems so out of place is because they're ham-fisting.
Am I right?
What's that?
I said Death Stranding. Am I right?
Oh fuck! That's like just one
Spider-Man
of like
2.
Spider-Man 2 was a fucking fiasco. And I'm playing this game going, what is happening? And then it's just ham-fisting identity politics, intersectional feminism, and all the other crap that has literally and I could say woke because I actually know what woke means. Not just because, they put a black guy in there. Woke, that's not woke. That's just a guy. Like, you know what I mean? Or they put an Asian woman in the thing. Woke, that's not woke. I know what the term means and I understand what it means. It has nothing to do with race, religion, creed, or anything of the sort, or sexual orientation. It's got nothing to do with that. What it has to do with is ham-fisting an agenda in order to indoctrinate you or your children subliminally through entertainment and or education. And that is what's happening in Hollywood. People have caught on. People are boycotting. People have left Hollywood. Disney is tanking. And the public school education system across North America is tanking for the same exact reasons. And now it's in games, and people have noticed. And people are really starting to notice. And now people are starting to get pissed off because I'm like, listen, can't we just have a game and play a game and enjoy a game and have a wonderful story instead of throwing, current day politics into everything? And what I mean by current day, I don't mean just current day. I mean current day California bullshit politics. Okay, enough of it already. You know the guy Heels versus Babyface. He's with Nerdrotic and all those guys. The guy who did the pronouns video. Half of that was a joke. If anybody who actually knows him as is, that's part of his personality. It's like an online sort of thing. And he did, but half of it is absolutely 100% real. He wants to play a fantasy RPG, not have all these ridiculous identity politics shoved down his throat instead of playing a fucking game. And that is what it all boils down to. And that's what this company is. And people are like, oh, well, you're a racist. What? Since when? Because I just want to be able to enjoy a game. I don't care who I'm playing as, what I'm playing as, what the story's about, or anything like that. And I don't care where the hell you're from or what you look like. Give me a good story. Don't do this kind of stuff because you're trying to shove an agenda. That's what it all boils down to. It boils down to the agenda. And that's what it all comes down to. And that's why people are pushing back because they're like, we don't want this. We just live like normal people. Okay? When I walk around, when I'm at work, first of all, I'm not even considered white, by the way. I'm Italian. Okay? So I'm considered Latin. All right? But I'm the only white guy at work. Okay? I have cultures of people of every single culture that I work with. Do I point them out by culture? Or by who they are, what they look like? Well, we got 3 of this. We got 2 of those. We got 1 of these. We got 4 of those. It's like I'm picking out a dozen donuts at Dunkin' Donuts. It's just a fucking group of people. I look at them as human beings. They're just people. In the real world, that's how this is how we act with each other. But then when they start ham-fisting this bullshit down your throat, nobody fucking talks or acts like that. And because of that, people going, this doesn't seem right. This is weird. What the fuck is this? And that's what it all boils down to. And that's what the problem is with this company. And people are starting to push back because they're like, get your politics out of our games. And then what did they do? They turned around. They started reporting people to the RCMP. Could you imagine this? They started reporting people to the RCMP for harassment, started calling people out, started blocking people, trying to get people thrown off of Steam. Trying to get people, basically cancel culture. There you go. The cancel pigs are at it again, and they're trying to get everybody banned who says something against them. And what is their response? Oh, well, you're just a racist, or you're a bigot, or you're a this, or you're a that. We are none of those things. We are normal people, just not liking what they're doing in this indoctrination into the gaming industry. So fuck them. And yes, I'm wearing a Terrifier shirt.
Yeah, I'm liking that shirt, dude.
Art the Clown. He's the guy.
One of the best movies ever.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
we got to go see part 3 in the theater, the Christmas movie.
Christmas is
I can't wait for that one.
Anyway,
Definitely cannot wait for that one.
I didn't know. There ain't no point in saying sorry. Shit. Hell yeah. Love it. I mean, it's the thing is, it's like, they'll eventually, like you said, I mean, they're going to eventually get it because people are going to get fed up, which they already kind of have. I don't know. I didn't know much about this whole like stuff that's going out in Canada with that group ultimately.
Well, one thing that Mag forgot to mention, These guys admitted to doxing people.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes,
Well, you
yes,
should
they
see
have.
some of the. Actually, you should see some of the archived tweets that have been deleted by some of their employees.
Yep.
That have surfaced. Yes, we should make the Jews extinct. Shit like that. Which, oh yeah.
Damn.
Which by and it's funny because I got a response. I had to block somebody yesterday. To get to tell you the difference between a great movie with a diverse cast and checking off boxes to get a score. I watched Wonka last night with the kids, like the
new one,
the newest one with Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
And I went into that movie hoping, please just make it a good. All I want is just a good movie. Not once did I have to sit there and count. And there were no Jews in that movie. But I didn't have to sit there and count, and it had some great actors in it. I thought it's one of Keegan-Michael Key's best roles. I think I've seen him in a long time. It was just a great movie. There was no message. There was no agenda. There were all kinds of people in the movie. Black, Asian, women, no Jews, but anybody else.
No Jews.
And
how do you know? No,
I'm sorry, we're the bad guys these days. Didn't you guys know that?
That's because you own every fucking thing.
Yeah, where's your twirly mustache?
That's right. That's right. And we oppress everybody apparently by existing. But I came away from that movie going, that was just a great movie. And by the way, it harkened back to the original Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and not the shit Johnny Depp movie. So that also kind of hit me in the feels. But those are the movies that if gaming would be like that, like all the tanking that's going on with Disney. What was the big movie last year? Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick had a whole diverse cast of people, but you know what? It was just a fucking good movie with a great story and just blow shit up and just have fun. Sit down and watch plane battles for 2 hours and watch Tom Cruise, getting his old F-14 with Goose's son. I'm sorry if you guys haven't seen it. And
Rooster.
Year-old spoiler.
I'm trying not to spoil it. And
I'm not a Tom Cruise fan, so go ahead.
And it made $1 billion.
Really?
Yet, I don't think anybody saw Madam Web or, I didn't even see the last Thor movie.
I haven't seen.
What an insult!
I don't think I've seen any Marvel movie.
Every Marvel movie since Endgame has been nothing but an insult to the characters, to the legacy, to men in general. Just the way the writing and the way the demeaning manner. And the thing is, you could look back and say, oh well, women were treated poorly for generations, whatever. You're not wrong. They're not wrong. But by doing this is not the fucking way you fix it. You don't go back and say, well, we were wronged in the past, so let's be complete assholes now in the future. By the way, Cammy Dev in the chat, let me tell you something. It says to be a little more, I think it's a little overblown, to be honest. Going out of your way to be a little more inclusive isn't always bad. I literally just said that's not what we're talking about. Being more inclusive has nothing to do with anything. It's got, like, for example, in the 1980s, okay, 1980s, before any of this bullshit, before any of this this identity politic bullshit, what was the number one show in the world in the United States? In the United States, in the world in the 1980s? Someone tell me.
Jesus, the Cosby Show.
Thank you very much. The Cosby Show. And what was it about? Was it? You know what I'm saying? Was it woke because it was about a black family that succeeded and did very well? It happened to be a really funny fucking show. Nobody gave a shit. It was a great show, and everybody watched it. Who are the number one musicians in the world? Who are the number one athletes in the world? They're certainly not straight white males, generally speaking, right?
Hey, and don't forget about Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy.
The best comedians in the world: Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle.
Red Fox.
So what I'm saying, and I'm not just picking out black.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I'm not picking out just. Obviously, the black community. I'm just saying all these different things. It means nothing when all you have to do is make a great product. It doesn't matter who it is, who it stars, what it's all about. Jackie Chan is one of my favorite action movie stars of all the time. How How about Ghost of Tsushima? My wife brought it up just actually today. She goes, Ghost of Tsushima takes place in Japan. There's no diversity there. It's all Japanese people. Oh, why are people up in arms? You know what I mean? Where's the up in arms about that? There is none. You know why? Great game. Great game,
Yep.
great story, and it took place in Japan. Nobody fucking cared. You know what I mean?
And I don't want to.
I don't understand this.
The other thing too is if you have to go out of your way to be inclusive, you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
You have to go out of your way to do it, right? Nobody is saying that you can't, you can't be inclusive. What I will say is if I'm playing a fantasy Viking game, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to find a non-binary Viking in my Viking game. You still have to give people something that they want, that they will enjoy, and stop. I think the thing, going back to Heels versus Babyface Oz and the thing about the pronouns in Starfield, I know that's not the point he was making, but and I've never said this out loud because they'll come for me, but I don't care at this point because I'm not on YouTube anymore. I sat there and looked at that and I was like, why do I have to? I don't go around. I don't put it in my email. I don't put it in I don't tell people. I don't walk up. I didn't come on the show and say, hey guys, I'm Mike Mullis from Original Next Level Gaming. I'm a he, him, and I'm on Cherokee ground. I don't do that because I don't choose to. So why in a game? If you want to, cool. If you want to do that and the option is there, pick the option. There was no option for me not to have it.
You know why, Mike? And this is what it goes back. That's what I've been trying. You have eloquently put what all my screaming was all about. Basically, what it is, it's forced indoctrination is the problem, and that's where I have an issue with. It starts in the schools. It's in Hollywood. It's in entertainment. It's in the fucking Pixar movies now. You can't escape it. And what's happening? I'm like, why? Why are we doing this? I think everybody should have the option to do whatever the hell they want. You have like a game like, let's say, Hogwarts Legacy. You could create your character however you want. You can have a binary Asian woman, whatever. It doesn't matter. You could do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy and however you feel represented, or you have the options in games and movies, whatever. The point is that forced indoctrination is the problem. We don't need that. I don't want like the pronoun thing in Starfield. I laugh. I'm like, first of all, I don't even know what my pronouns are. I actually don't know. And I'm like, does he, him mean I'm straight? Or does that mean I'm something? Like, I don't even fucking know. So the thing is, at the end of the day, I don't really care either about any of that stuff. I really don't. I have friends across every spectrum on this planet of every sexual orientation, color, creed, race, religion, whatever. And I have friends all over the world and people that I work with and everything else. It doesn't matter to me. But don't force it down everybody. Other things down people's throats in order to get an agenda.
I'm going to jump in right now. It doesn't matter to you. To you.
Sure.
It doesn't matter to you. It might matter to a lot of fucking other people. Okay. Right. Case closed.
And I think
just because it doesn't matter to you doesn't mean it doesn't matter to a lot of other fucking people.
What do you mean? Hold on. In what respect? Like when I say it doesn't matter to me what you are, I'm saying as a person.
No, it doesn't matter to me that I don't care about these pronouns that I see on the screen, but it might matter to a lot of other fucking people. Okay. Like, how mad are you about this?
No, you get it all. No, you get it all twisted.
No. You went on a big rant and you yelled and had a big speech about.
No. You get it all twisted. What I'm saying is that it doesn't matter what you are or what you do or what you represent. I'm saying it shouldn't be forced.
It's not forced.
100%.
I did not have. Hold on. Whoa.
It's 100% forced, Penny.
I didn't have a choice.
I didn't have a choice not to options to turn it on or off.
No,
hold on.
There's no option.
I didn't have a choice
to see two words on a screen.
I think there's a reason why they had the choice in there. They already made the dialogue. So for your character to feel like if you made a male character and then the whole time the dialogue was trying to skip calling you him or they or she or go over there, I know he has a good tool for you. If you didn't put he him in there, the dialogue would sound all trashy. So I don't even think that on this part with Starfield it was even trying to say, oh, we're trying to push pronouns. Is making it inclusive for whatever your pronoun is, but it also makes it easier for the dialogue tree for the computer to figure out how to say the next line to you. That's how I take it. And when a lot of folks are like, this is not, I don't know why I have to do this. Well, the people have to talk to you. And if the whole time they were saying, yes, I talked to the mag, and he said, and see, I just messed up. I said he. You know what I'm saying? If you don't say which dialogue tree am I going to?
However, it is far more nefarious than that. If you look at what everything that's been going on in, like I said, in Hollywood and in gaming over the last 5 years,
but I don't
it
think
is not by accident. This is 100% on purpose.
You could have sex with aliens and how many video games before then? They're not trying to throw on having a cryptozoology sex and being a deviant in games. I mean, you can play games now and have sex with a druid bear. Nobody's ranting against bestiality. They're making fun of saying, oh yeah, I know, I want to go have sex with a bear. So some of that is just how you look at it and your perspective, but some of it is just simple. We're just trying to make a game. But I understand where you're coming from, Mag, but I think some of it is we're making a big mountain molehill out of something that really wasn't that much of anything.
That's how it starts. And that's how Hollywood started. They're like, oh, it's just little things. Look at it now. And it's literally crumbling on itself.
And put it to you like this. How many games my whole life I played as a white guy? Choose your character. Listen, choose your character, build your character, make your character look just like you. And there's not even a black option.
You're 100% right.
So how can I make somebody that looks like me if everybody is 5 shades of pale?
Hey, and
every
there's no problem with that.
Is a
I know you don't have a problem when that's
it's always the same,
right? That's forced.
There's no problem with
but
any
it's
of
not
that.
forced.
When you have to pick a white character, that's forced on you. Then you guys don't have a problem with that, right?
That's a choice. You're not forced to play the game. It's like watching a movie. No one's forcing you to watch Terrifier 3, right? So like it may not be your cup of tea, but the option is there, and that's where it all boils down to. Like for example, South of Midnight.
No, I'm just saying options are good because before I never had an option. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You could say,
but that's not what it's at.
You could say don't choose to play the game. And back then, if you told me don't choose to play the game, I could not play any games for multiple years.
Sure. And I do feel for that because I've thought about that too. And I'm like, man, that must really suck for some people when they look at, like, let's say every single superhero is of a certain whatever, right? Is a certain whatever color, race, whatever, right? You're like, man, that must suck because like some people just don't identify. You know what I mean? You go down the whole gamut of superheroes from like Iron Man to Hulk to Superman to Batman, whatever, right? And there's a common theme there, isn't it? And I understand that 100%. But that also comes down to there's a creative process there where other people's stories and other people's ideas and thoughts and things should be able to come out so that people have the ability to express themselves freely in that respect. Not take what's already been done and then shove this in there because you don't like the way, we want to rewrite history for modern audiences. Yeah, that's the big key word. That's the key phrase you keep hearing these days. And that's where you hear something. Remember in the Indiana Jones trailer? We rewrote Indiana Jones for the modern audience. As soon as he said that, I went, fuck, here we go again. And you know what's going to happen. That girl character.
There's only 40 and 50-year-olds who still watch and pay attention to Indiana Jones unless it's the little kids playing Lego Indiana Jones. These younger kids don't know anything about Indiana Jones. So that's the modern time because these kids don't know nothing about Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but you know what? Myths have been around for literally centuries and they have not changed. The Bible, the Torah, all these other books, they are the same stories that go on for centuries and they've never changed for modern audiences.
all of them have changed because whoever to the victor goes, the spoils history is written by the victors. So there's lots of things have changed just because of who won. I mean, you go in Egypt, how come you see in Egypt all the noses are knocked off of these people? Because whoever came in and took up Egypt, that's how they erase some of the history of the faces of the king. If a king won and beat another king,
they took the thing. Yeah.
So
Well,
yes,
to the victors,
it does get erased. History does get erased, and the future does get changed. Whatever. It's a never ending cycle. The problem is the voices who are yelling on both sides are the small minority and talking for the vast majority.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. You know why? Like, for example, look at the pushback on Hollywood in the last couple of years. They have lost billions of dollars because people just stop going because they're tired of it. They're tired of it
because the movies are bad.
The movies are terrible, but it's also
you make a good movie, people will watch it.
Like if people went to go see Oppenheimer and Barbie this year. Everything else tanked. And why did they tank? Bad movies, bad scripts, and what were the Marvels? You've heard of the
tank because it was 3 women in it. It tanked because it was a bad movie.
Well, you've heard the term
Madam
MCU,
Web,
right?
Madam Web tanked, and that was Sony production because you could see in the trailers it was a horrible movie.
Yeah. Right, but like you've heard the term MCU, right? Women. You've alienated the crowd. You've alienated the people that have brought you money. The people that are paying and bringing you money and paying for all this stuff, they walked away because they're like, we don't want to see this
because it was a bad movie. I go to all the MCU movies, but I didn't go see the Marvels. I mean, not the Marvels, the Madam Web, because I could tell and look at. So why would I spend my money on that? I'll wait till it comes out
not a person
on the
in the
thing.
world
I still might not watch it.
Good movie.
I don't know how that.
I think even what the actress was on SNL and she made a joke about it. Said you've seen me in this and you've seen me in this, but you haven't seen me in Madam Web.
Yeah, because it's a bad movie.
Marvel hasn't made a good movie since Endgame. They haven't made a good
Madam
TV
Web
show.
Old
period.
Woman.
But like none of those movies, TV shows, or anything are any good at all, and it's all been a common theme. They're pushing out. They were pushing out all the representation of the males, the men. Fuck, even Black Panther. Did you see that abomination of a sequel? What did they do? They could have recast. They could have said another Panther was born of this and that or whatever. They could have used this
right
son.
there, Mag.
And it was all women. The MCU strikes again. Nobody, and then
the Dora Milaje is the top fighting force in that show in Africa. There are a lot of African tribes that are run and women are the heads of, and they make all the decisions. The Dora Milaje was based on another African tribe of women warriors who would take out the
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Black Panther.
No. Yes, but that's what the Dora Milaje were built off of. So in this society in Black Panther, even in the comics, the women are in high regard in that society, and Dora Milaje are the best fighters in that society. The problem with Black Panther, and you're saying the problem was they didn't recast T'Challa. You have a black superhero that people have. How many Batmans have you had? And people keep watching them. How many Supermans have you had? You took one of the greatest black action heroes, superheroes in the MCU and decided to leave him dead. That's what most folks were mad at from the black community and other ones, because this is the superhero that made so much money in the first one. All you have to do is just recast. It doesn't mean Chadwick Boseman
that just would have been
just trampled over.
I would have said that. But
that choice was not listening to the fans, but it had nothing to do with women took over the movie.
Well, 80%
in the first one. In the first one, did you hear T'Chaka talk all that much? No, because he was dead. But who was talking to him? Shuri, his mom, the Dora Milaje, his love interest. Anytime he talked to a man, almost in that whole movie, he was fighting.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't use Black Panther as a
80% of the 80%. It's a fact. 80% of comic book and video game consumption are by males between the ages of 14 and 48. And when you take
Black
those
Panther's
out,
not a good example.
They're not going.
Just take Black Panther out the way because that's not a good example.
Dude, you had a Black Panther movie without Black Panther. It was all women. That's not a fucking Black Panther movie. They should have called it something else. Could have been a spin-off. For example, Blade. I've read the script for Blade. Okay? It's fucking abominable. The first draft, not the new one.
Because, that's why they delayed it, because they already said that it was a bad name.
Do you know why?
Plenty of rewrites. They pushed it back years now.
Do you know why? Because Mahershala Ali said, I'm not doing this fucking movie. You know why? Because they put 3 women in the lead over him, and he was basically the butt end of jokes. They had his daughter and 2 other women were going to be running the vampire hunting, and he was just in the background, and every once in a while, they'd make a crack a joke about him. I read the script. I have a script doctor who lives here in Toronto. I read it.
Well, if Mahershala Ali said
he said
wasn't
no,
going to do it, I'm glad, because whatever the movie is, if the main actor who's going to be playing this role decided that this wasn't good enough, it stopped now. So I wouldn't even be mad about it, because
I'm not mad. I'm just saying that's an example. How about Thor: Love and Thunder? Another example. You got Thor: Love and Thunder. He wasn't even the character of the movie. He was a butt end of jokes, and they had a female Thor take his place. Nobody went to see it because people are not identifying with that.
Because it was
right. You have the males of all whatever the spectrum across the board are not interested in it.
Right, but
and they've lost their way.
Why was it bad? So
Did you watch it?
That's
yeah, it's terrible.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
but I think is the point that Mag's trying to make. Why was it
one
bad?
of the best villains I've ever seen, and it was still terrible. The Christian Bale's villain was amazing.
Why was it bad?
Because watch it and tell me if it was good.
The dialogue was bad. It was a bad story.
I'm asking.
The story shouldn't have even been.
Everything to do
the story shouldn't have even been made. That was not. It was. You had someone who went totally left from the one before. They had a good one. There's been 2 bad Thor movies. The second one was horrible.
Yeah.
And then this last one. And the second one wasn't a whole bunch of women and all this, and
no, that was just a bad movie.
This agenda. It was a bad movie.
They just screwed over the Hulk, like they keep doing over and over and over, just because of Universal. But still, that shit still pisses me off, regardless, because they'll never give Hulk an actual fighting chance for anything.
And I have no idea. I've never watched a Marvel movie.
At this point, Wilmy, don't even bother.
Yeah, they've got Mark Ruffalo making him the Hulk. However they lost Ed Norton was my biggest issue with the Hulk character.
No, because Ed Norton, he was Ed Norton. He was in the middle
I know,
of,
but
what that other movie he was doing.
And plus, he kept running his mouth about how he hated this and hated that and all this. So he kicked himself off of there because he was a good Hulk.
I know.
He kicked himself.
But I will say this:
Mark Ruffalo's.
Mark Ruffalo was not a bad.
I don't think
I personally don't think he was a bad choice to be the next Hulk. I just think the way they wrote Hulk was absolutely terrible.
He was a poor Bruce Banner,
because literally
they made him a butt of the jokes. That's
he wasn't even really that terrible. Like compared to Edward Norton, yes, he wasn't as good, but I think this Hulk was probably the best Hulk they've made, and they did him very well for Avengers, and then destroyed him after that. Made him so scared. He was, I gotta go away. Like whatever.
Yeah,
that was the beginning of the battle for the universe.
And then
he couldn't even turn into Hulk.
Thank you.
And then She-Hulk came along and pretty much just dominated.
She-Hulk is a character. There's a difference though.
But did you see who the villain? Did you see who the villain of the series was?
Yes.
The fan base. Did you see that? Toxic males. They literally said it. Toxic males, because that's when Disney started doing that nonsense and they started pushing that whole thing. And then I'm like, okay, so they totally destroyed and dismantled the character of the Hulk. By the time Endgame came, he was a complete pussy and there was no Hulk anymore. And so they've done that. So they dismantled that character. Then they started dismantling all the rest of them, the ones that didn't die, of course. Right. And then what ended up happening? Then you get She-Hulk. The main villain of She-Hulk were toxic male fandom. They literally said it. And then when they showed the writer's room, did you see that meta moment where they had the writer's room and they had all the people there? And what did they say? They're like, toxic male fandom. They fucking said it right on the show. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. They're literally calling out the people who made them their money. And guess what those people did? They went like this. They could go fuck yourself. And they walked away. And then Disney tanked. And now they've lost billions of dollars. And now what does Kevin Feige said? Well, we're doing a retooling. That means we fucked up so hard that now we're going to have to go back and start all over. And that's exactly what they're going to do. And they're going to use Deadpool.
Now, we'll see Deadpool.
Well, Deadpool's going to reset the MCU. And then they're going to have the Fantastic Four with, what's his name? The fuck's
Pedro.
his name? Pedro Pascal. So then they're going to have Fantastic Four, and that's going to take place in the 60s, by the way. That's not a modern show. Not a modern film. That doesn't take place.
That's going to be sweet, though.
So,
yeah, it takes place
season 2 of Halo.
Oh my God! The first one. Guys, I do have to run. Sorry for all the screaming tonight, but listen, love you guys.
Dude, you're good.
Wilmy, I gotta ask you a question, dude. I'm about to, or actually, I'll ask the whole panel. I'm about to sit down now. Halo season 2 is in episode 5, I believe, right now, right? Because I don't like to watch a show week to week, so I like to wait.
It's on episode 5, yeah.
It's 5.
Yes. Now I heard that the second season is fantastic. Now, can I ask a quick question?
Way better.
Is the first season worth it? Should I go back and watch the first and then go into the second?
The first one.
I didn't mind
just
the
to
first
get a
season.
basis.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. My wife even liked it. I think there's 9 episodes.
Yeah, there's 9
Some
episodes.
people didn't like it.
Are you?
But it will set you up for
lacking
the
an
backstory.
Because you'll get one of those.
This is what I'll look at.
Sorry, what's
Matt.
that, Peniac? What'd you say, brother?
Are you lacking an ass picnic? Because if you are, you go watch this one.
No, I did. No, I know all about that stuff, and I know about Master Cheeks. And
Has
everything.
Master Chief
Sorry, if you
Yeah.
want to
has
watch.
Master Chief put his helmet on yet?
Oh Jesus, probably
Nah.
not.
Hey, no spoilers. I haven't seen anything.
Look,
But
that's the only thing
I
I
don't
hate.
know
ab-
anything either.
I mean,
That's
I've played
the
all
only
the
reason
games,
why I'm
mind you, so
kinda
it's not like I
tired.
don't know what happens. But
This is what
I
I'll
just
say,
wanted to know if
Matt.
it was worth it. Yeah. What's up?
This is what I'll say. Watch the first show with open eyes. If
All
you like so hardcore about John 117 that there's going to be some stuff that you don't like.
I just want a great scrub. I just want a great story. I don't care.
Just listen.
Great,
just listen.
great.
Yeah.
The first,
But by the time you get
season's
to
about
the
great.
second season, you're going to see that they listen to a lot of complaints, and
Okay.
the show it's not a 180, but there's so much goodness in the second season. There's good stuff in the first season, but if you're like, I'm not a fan of him taking his helmet off, and there's too many butt pick, just keep watching. Just keep watching.
Because I was talking to Everborn and Kiyosante about it because they're really pushing it, right? And I'm like, how good is it? And they're like, it's amazing. So I'm like, all right, the second season. But no one says anything about the first season.
because the first season was awful. I'm sorry.
It was-
I couldn't
Okay,
even
all
finish
right.
it. I couldn't finish
All
it.
right, pink shorts, okay? No, it wasn't.
No,
that
look, the first couple episodes were okay, but then like you get too much of the he's so human aspect of it. And
But
then
they
it's
did that to set up season 2, I think, in a way too.
It's all a setup.
and maybe
It's
so,
a setup for
but
season 2.
That's the only reason why
All
I
right.
couldn't even think about going into 2, just because the first one was pretty
Go to
terrible.
the
Right.
wiki, read the season.
Well,
one.
you
think
got to
you need the
remember,
basics.
Definitely
You'll
don't
be good.
play a video game and play any of the story and think that any of that's going to actually lead into the show, because
Right.
it won't.
well, what they wanted to do, I mean, if you think they wanted this show to appeal to other than just gamers,
Right.
they wanted the general public to watch this show, so they had to create backstories.
It's like
Who
Last
know
of Us. They're
nothing
not going to do
about
everything
him.
that they, like Last of Us. They're going to have to expand it for people who've never played the game, right? So they're not making it. Just
Oh
for
no!
games.
So far, they've done it for the game.
No, it's been
This
pretty
is
right on the
identical.
money.
Well, actually, you know what? You're not
Yeah,
that far
that's-
off. It's actually pretty.
yeah.
Pretty actually.
Last of Us is pretty much the same thing, except for the whole.
Well, but
Well,
I mean,
I
the
think season 2 is going to take some major detours. That's my guess.
the post-apocalyptic thing's been done a million times over. So I
Yeah.
mean,
As long as they show the golfing scene, that's
There's
all
going to
I
be
care
at least 5. There's going to be at least 4 seasons. They said so.
Yeah.
You know that they're going to
You
take
won't
some
see that
massive.
for a while.
Yeah, they're going to be some massive liberties taken, and then whatever. But
about. Well, 'cause
anyways,
they can't
yeah.
kill off Pascal too
and like
fast.
Boogie said, next month, I think it's April the 12th, you get Fallout. That'll be entertaining.
Yeah.
well, let's
I'm
find
gonna,
out.
I'm gonna check it out. It's on Prime.
Yeah, it's on Prime. Yeah,
Oh, Fallout
Yep.
the
So-
show. Oh.
yeah, Fallout show.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see.
Do you guys pay for Prime without ads?
Not for long.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I pay for it because it's part of the
Ain't that
shopping
part
thing,
of
right?
it?
My
Yeah,
wife.
Amazon Prime.
No, but
shit.
did you
Mhm.
upgrade to have no ads? $3.99.
Oh, I did. Oh, is that?
Oh,
Peniac, you're up here. Is that a thing? Has that applied to us yet?
I saw it a couple weeks ago when I logged in and checked it out. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Wait, the ads
really?
The only reason I have this in the first place is so I can get quick shipping. Okay,
well,
so I'm not paying more.
Okay. All right. Well, I was watching Jack Ryan like the third season just the other day, and I didn't see any ads. So maybe I am paying for it. I didn't even know.
Mine doesn't say anything about ads.
They're probably got automatically upgraded.
Probably.
You're short $3 this month, buddy. You better get that back.
Fuck. Well, it's not even me. It's my wife. What the fuck am I gonna do? She's got a package every day showing up.
Same here, dude.
Netflix is always going up. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Those delivery guys are like the cardio workouts they must do. They're at my door every fucking day with something. Even if it's like a 99-cent box, it's there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I do appreciate these companies though because of what COVID has brought on. Like these dudes deliver on Sundays. It's like,
it's 7 days a week, man.
Yeah,
day and night.
Your door, like holy shit.
Well, I got an Echo 10 in my kitchen. You know those the screen that moves around and follows you and shit. And then it even tells me, like, I'm in the kitchen doing the stuff, and it tells me the package is waiting for me at the door.
You have a Connect in your kitchen?
That's nice.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
You got
and it says your package is at your door. I'm like, oh shit! And I open the door, and it's right there.
Because it all bitch.
Yeah. Well, it controls everything in the house, right? So I have Echo Dots in all the rooms, music everywhere, whatever. The front door, the doorbells, the cameras, all that. Just
being funny since folks were like, Connect, they're going to listen to you. Now we have all the cameras and voices.
The funny part,
Ring cameras.
I'm the worst because I've got Alexa and the Google things all through my house.
Oh wow!
I've got Google.
Your refrigerator tells you when the ice is ready, and then sends it to your phone.
Yeah.
And it sees what I look at on the internet, which is
Yeah. I can start my truck from my phone 100 miles away. Yeah.
Folks, I do have to run. Guys, what a passionate conversation tonight, man. Fun. Holy shit. It was wild. That was wild. Hey, no hard feelings. Like when I scream, that's just how I talk. I'm Italian.
It's because you're yelling. That's why.
Yeah, I know. It's because I yell. That's how I talk.
Not yelling. That's just talking loud.
You should hear my wife. My wife.
That's just mag. If you don't know mag by now.
My wife says to me, she goes, "What are you yelling at?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Yelling?
This is level 4.
Yeah, I asked her. I go, she goes,
who
are you yelling at on the phone? I go, what are you talking about? I'm talking to my mom. I'm like, I'm just asking her how her day was, and I'm screaming. But anyways, guys, you guys are fucking awesome. What a great show. Wilmy, thank you for the invite. Mike, everybody else, Bomber, Penny, and Xbox Canada, where the hell were you? You were just kind of there the whole time. You didn't even say anything.
Anytime I talked, I couldn't get my words in. So
Christ, you should. Well, now you can talk as I'm leaving. But anyways, guys, awesome show. Chad, you guys are awesome too. Love you guys. But anyways, gotta run, folks. You guys have a good one. All right. And Scrub, whenever you see me online, dude, hit me up, man. I'm playing all the time with my son.
He cheats.
All right. Sound like
all right. Same with you, Wilmy. You got he cheats. He cheats. Yeah. Whenever you guys are on COD, man, just look for me. You'll find me there.
All right.
Oh yeah.
All right, boys.
I haven't played the last couple of days. It's been kind of weird.
What?
Yeah. Well,
I've been playing Banishers, so
playing Balatro.
Well, I'll be online, boys. Have a good night.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Later.
All right. Night.
Bye, Mag.
Later.
And on that note, believe it or not, we're on our mark.
Yeah, we are.
Lord Jesus, we're almost over here. Holy.
Yeah, this went quick. So, Bomber.
Yeah.
Tell everybody where they can find you, dude.
Make it short and simple, just like every time. You can find the HR Bomber everywhere. Of course, here every Sunday. So,
Leo's got the shortest outro.
No, he does. He does. I try to keep it a little bit short, not quite that short, but
quit talking, Jesus.
I know I'm talking too much. I guess I need to keep on going then, right? To kind of keep it up, make sure we don't leave out of here at 8:00. No, I'm just kidding. All right, back to you, Penn.
Twitter, PlayStation, here to go.
All right, Scrub. Tell everybody where they can find you, man.
Scrub said nope.
He gone. He's already playing Call of Duty.
You can find Scrub on Xbox, PlayStation, and Twitter at the
He'll
Scrub.
Be playing his drums.
Playing his drums all the time. Yeah, that's right.
Playing Call
And where did he go? All right, Canada. Tell everybody where they can find you. Maybe he had to go grab something to drink.
Oh, he
said murder. Find me mostly on Twitter at Xbox Canada.
Let Canada talk, please. Go ahead, dude.
You can find me mostly on Twitter at Xbox Canada.
Oh, that's simple.
That's
wow.
Simple.
Y'all going for like the shortest outros now?
Hell yeah.
Well, it's late, dude.
Just like
late.
me, very simple.
All right, Mike, thanks for joining us, man. It's been a long time.
It has been. I'm not used to this being on a schedule shit. What is this?
Well, some of us, have to get up early and all that good stuff. Yeah. So
man,
Bombers got crowned
everybody's
to drink. You know how it goes.
Hey, that's right. I do still have a little bit of crown.
that's a good point. So,
some of us get up really early.
Being on with you guys. So, I might have lost half of my Twitter followers after tonight, but I'm okay. I love all of you guys. You guys are great. I love being here, and you can find me on Twitter, NLG Mullis. You can find our channel, the Original Next Level Gaming, on Rumble. Just go to Rumble and type in the Original Next Level Gaming. You will find us. We're on pretty much every day of the week now. So, PlayStation, the original NLG, Xbox, Stinger NLG. You won't find me on a Switch because I don't own that shit. And I don't use my kids. So, no, I'm just kidding. I have nothing against the Switch. I don't have time for a handheld. That's about
it. What?
Whoa.
Farmer.
Wow.
He uses his feet, damn it.
Damn.
He had no time for a handheld. Feet held on the other hand.
Now, if I could hold my shoe on my feet, holy shit.
No, that's what I was thinking. Shit.
That would be amazing. Think about
I'm in the wrong industry. I'm in the wrong industry.
What, man?
If I could use my
right? Right? If that was the case, I wouldn't have been here tonight.
Yeah, right.
None of us would. Shit.
Oh, shit.
You wouldn't be able to fit on the camera.
My God.
I'm not in a chair.
Well, apparently not if you can grab shit with your feet. All right. So, Scrub, you actually able to give your outro, dude? Because he just
he kind of came on and waved.
Yeah, he messaged
Thank everybody for coming out. God bless. Good night. I gotta run. See y'all later.
Love you, Scub.
And of course, I'm Wilmy Hood. You can find me here every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can find me on Twitter. Look for Wilmy Hood #2, Xbox or PlayStation or Steam. But you won't, like Mike, you won't find me on a Switch. Sorry. Just can't do it.
Thank you.
My 3-year-old grandson plays the Switch that we bought that I never played.
At least somebody can play it.
Yeah, at least he loves it. But he was playing Xbox earlier, and we were playing Bluey with him. And wow, there's some really weird cartoons out nowadays, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
I'm telling you what, man, for a couple Australian dogs, man, those guys have a huge fucking house.
Yeah, right?
Hey, Bluey's good, all right?
All right, so to be fair, though,
bullshit Paw Patrol.
To be fair, though, we did have Ren and Stimpy back in the day. So
we had Ren and Stimpy, we had Beavis and Butthead, we had
yeah, but
Warner Brothers.
Like I was in high school when Ren and Stimpy came out.
Oh, Ren and Stimpy.
That wasn't a kid's show.
No, and neither was Pee Wee in the beginning.
Neither is neither is SpongeBob. Okay,
SpongeBob.
Yeah,
the worst one was Rocco.
The first edition of Ren and Stimpy was it. The remake was not. That's probably the one that you remember.
No problem.
The original Ren and Stimpy, there wasn't anything wrong with that when you were a kid. That's no different than Tom and Jerry and stuff like that.
Yeah, Rocco's Modern Life was pretty. If you were a kid, you didn't get the jokes. If you were an adult sitting there watching that shit with your kid, you were like, "What the fuck?"
and that's how that's how SpongeBob has always been.
And then see, like the oh god, what was it? The Rugrats. That was just setting them up for reality.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they were like the worst parents in the world anyway.
Leave them outside with them.
Of course, Rugrats. Yeah, the worst parents. Of course, Rugrats were the Jewish family. Of course they were.
Oh yeah, they were, weren't they? Damn, I didn't even think about that.
They were.
Oh, Animaniacs was one of my favorites.
Yes.
Oh,
I love Animaniacs.
Pinky and the Brain. Pinky and the Brain.
I still watch Animaniacs.
Oh,
the funny part about that, General, my daughter, my youngest, my wife almost killed me for it. I named her after a character on that show. If you remember the episodes of Katie Kaboom, the little girl that had all the animals and stuff. They called her Katie Kaboom. That's where I got the name for my youngest daughter. I named her Katie.
That is hilarious.
I wanted to name her Slappy after the squirrel, but I figured my wife would have shot me at the hospital. But yeah, dude, we had some pretty crazy shit back then. So I don't know, but cartoons now are just like so weird.
Oh,
but none of them are weirder than Blippi, and that's not a cartoon.
Yeah, no,
it's just weird.
Weird, yeah,
yeah. But he makes billions. But
you got to give the dude credit. I was telling my wife the first time we watched that with her grandson, I'm like, this guy is a genius because the reason, the first thing he says when he comes on, well, he says it multiple times throughout the show. Can you spell my name with me? Blippi. Why does he do that? Because he knows these little kids are all on tablets or on phones playing with them, and they'll go and eventually they'll start typing his name in and watching his shit.
Yep.
That's clever marketing.
Yep. And he is weird enough to weird out the adults, but he's cute enough to not weird it out so that the kids won't watch it.
And my wife thinks I'm crazy, but I swear, dude, underneath all those clothes, he's like covered in fucking tattoos and shit. He's dropping acid on the weekend, banging hookers, you know.
Oh, you
know he is, man. He's driving around in a Porsche, you know, with a license plate that says Muff Diver. Or some stupid shit.
As soon as that camera's off, that dude is lighting up.
Oh, you know he is, dude. It's just ridiculous.
Just like the original dude from Blue's Clues.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's doing.
Steve.
He's living his best life, literally.
Yeah. He's made appearances to let everybody know he did not die of a heroin overdose.
Yeah. I know. I actually saw one of him not too long ago. I thought that was funny.
Yep. I liked Steve, man.
I survived it. Yeah. I survived it.
That's another one.
Yep, Steve was the original, so that's the one.
But I will say Blippi is pretty bad though. Good God, I can't.
Oh, Guardian says
too old for that.
Guardian says he's in Young Sheldon. I had no idea.
Yeah,
is he? Is he in this season of Young Sheldon? We haven't started watching it. This is the last season. I haven't started watching it yet.
I've never started watching it and have no intention. I've seen the commercials.
It was fun. It's actually pretty good.
Just based on,
but I also, my wife and I are also Big Bang Theory fans. So,
see, yeah,
can't do it.
I hear Big Bang, I think it's something entirely different than what you do. They're just sorry. And on that note, we are out of here. Everybody, thanks for tuning in tonight. Get some gaming in. Let all the bullshit just pass you by because most of it's static in the background anyway. And have a good week, and we'll see you back here next Sunday.
Yo.
Gamers.
Damn. Wrong button.